Good morning, my friends. Welcome to another prep what I ate in a day video. I know you guys really like these videos, so I'm going to do more of them so you can see how I do my day. I'm going to start my day with lemon water, and because I know this is a lot of stuff, again, I just put everything out so it's right here ready to go. But I'm doing prep for dinner right now. First thing in the morning, we'll be drinking this while I'm making everything. So 3 slices, or whatever, that I put in the water, and then I juice the ends. So I will be drinking this while I'm making my stuff for dinner. A lot of you love my chili recipe, so that's what I'm going to be making for dinner. But I want it to marinate all day. So I'm going to start it early just so it's ready for dinner. First things first, cashew sour cream. To do that, I just soak about a cup of cashews. So cover them with a little bit of water, and I'm just going to let these sit until they're ready to go. Now I'm going to chop my stuff for the chili. I'm going to start with my mushrooms. Now, this is an awesome tool to use. It's kind of like a chopping machine. You just put the food in there and it chops into little cubes. So it's a lot easier and faster than sitting here and chopping them all into little cubes. So you can do this for the mushrooms, for the zucchini, and for the onion. So I'll show you how I do that. I chop off the end and I slice the mushrooms so that they're in thirds. So you get, it's about, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch thick-ish, give or take. I put those in here and I just slap it and it goes right through, ready to go. So much easier than spending all that time chopping mushrooms into little pieces. And you'll see what they look like when we're done. All right. So all of my mushrooms are ready to go. This is what they look like. They're kind of like little cubes, and it really didn't take long. So I'm going to put those all in there. Have a little drink, and we'll get going on the zucchinis. So what I do the same thing, I just slice them into about a 1/4 inch slices and just stick them in the little machine. So there's one zucchini, as you can see, perfect little cubes. And I think I'm gonna do the second zucchini as well. And done. There we go. I will just add those to the mix. Now I would like to also add onion. So I have them chopped into pieces, and I'm going to do it again. Add those. I wanted to add some peppers and tomatoes to this. I have here my mix of tomatoes. I'm going to split this between lunch and dinner. All right, so I'm going to save the rest of these for lunch. I think I'm going to use a yellow pepper. I'm going to save this one for lunch. The thing with raw food and prep is that it doesn't matter if you're eating cooked vegan or you're doing raw vegan. There's still prep. You still have to prep your vegan lasagna. You still have to prep your oatmeal in the morning. You still have to prep your vegan pizza if you're gonna have it. You still gotta make that kind of stuff. If you're eating homemade food, you gotta prep. Unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. And raw food or cooked food, it really doesn't matter. I think a lot of people are scared of doing raw because of the time involved in it, but really, you're still going to be spending a lot of time making stews or rice or even potatoes, waiting for the oven, washing your caked on dishes after. I mean, it's just, I find that I feel better on raw, so that's how I'm going to eat, but the prep time really doesn't matter. I do, though, find that the raw food is a lot easier to prepare. So Anyways, this is our bowl. All I need to do now, oh, and onion, is marinate it, because I'm going to be marinating it all day so that it's nice and ready for dinner. So I'm going to put, this is optional guys, coconut aminos. I'm just going to put maybe a tablespoon chili powder. So I like lots. You can add as much as you want. Garlic powder, of course. Hot chili flakes. Again, if you have issues with spices, don't put as many in. Some smoked paprika. I like the flavor, so I'm going to add that. Then I'm going to mix it all up. Now I am just going to put this bowl covered on the dehydrator, just so it warms up and it starts to get a little bit warmer than room temperature. Because I want the chili to be warm, I would rather put it in the dehydrator before dinner when it's warm than put it in the dehydrator when it comes out of the fridge. I'm gonna set the dehydrator to about 90 degrees Fahrenheit, which is really a hot summer day, and I'm just going to let it sit there while it marinates. And in the meantime, I'm going to finish this so that I can have my breakfast. These 3 super ripe bananas that are ready to go for a smoothie, and pineapple. So you're gonna have a pineapple banana smoothie. Super simple. This is one of the best pineapples that I've had in Canada in a really long time. Nothing beats Costa Rica, but this one's really good. My lovely pineapple banana smoothie. Super simple, super easy, and absolutely delicious. So I'm going to drink this and finish that, do my coaching calls, and come back for lunch. I have my lettuce soaking in a little bit of vinegar water, and it's warm water. Warm to the touch, because this lettuce came straight from the fridge and it's really ice cold, and I don't want to eat a cold salad, especially since the weather today is really gross and it's kind of cold in my apartment. Quicker to get to room temperature. That's another trick that I do when I'm eating raw in the winter, is to keep things room temperature so you're not eating freezing cold stuff. And again, these have been sitting out all day. My cucumbers been sitting out because I'm going to eat it today and I don't want it to be cold from the fridge. Remember my cashews that have been soaking since this morning? Just drain the water out and add them to my blender. I'm going to have a little bit of water on hand just in case I need some to get it to spin, because sometimes you need to add a little bit of water to get the cashews to blend, but you don't want to add too much or it's going to be too watery, and you want it to be creamy consistency, just like sour cream. So for this, it's really super simple. You just need your cashews, the juice of 1 lemon, so I'll juice that. I need about half a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, and then I have this little itty bitty yellow onion that I'm going to use for the cashew sour cream, but I don't want to use the entire thing because it'll be a little too oniony. So I'm actually going to cut this in half, and I'm going to use the other half in my lunch salad anyways, just so things don't go to waste. And then we blend. Add water as you need. Alright, so that's ready to go and it smells like sour cream. I'm just going to put it into this container. I am not going to be consuming all of this today. I will use this tonight with the chili, and then I'll probably use it tomorrow in maybe a creamy Asian style dressing, and then maybe the next day in something else. But I don't use the whole thing because it's so high fat. But I'm just going to put the lid on and stick this in the fridge so it gets cold, because we want cold sour cream on our warm chili. You just want to take a little bit of time to mix your chili ingredients, and it smells amazing, seriously. And again, it's a little bit warm. It's nice and warm to the touch, just like if you would have left it outside on a picnic table or whatever in the hot sun. So we're just going to stick this back over at the dehydrator to continue marinating until dinner time. And it's officially time to make lunch. So I'm going to rinse my lettuce and get started on that. Chopping my lettuce. And again, my salad bowl is going to be too small, but that's okay. I will chop the onion up. The orange pepper that I wanted to have this morning in my chili, but we will put in lunch instead. The rest of the tomatoes. 1 whole cucumber. I also want 2 spring onions, so we're going to chop those and they'll be on top after the dressing. And the dressing, because I'm going to be having the cashews tonight, I want this to be really low fat, so I'm just making a variation of my French dressing. So I'm going to make this with 5 dates. I need something sour, but I've used up all my lemons, so I'm going to default to apple cider vinegar. I prefer to do lemons in my dressings, but again, if I don't have any lemons on hand, which I used up earlier in my other meals, I will just use apple cider vinegar. I'm going to use ginger. I like a lot of ginger, so I'm going to use this really thick chunk. I have a clove of garlic. I'm going to add smoked paprika, and you guys don't have to use this, but because this is an Asian style of dressing that I'm making, I'm going to add a little bit of coconut aminos. Just about, not even a tablespoon, just a little bit. Then I will need water, and I'm going to add probably half a cup. You want to make sure that you have a little extra water, again, to make sure the consistency is how you like it. Some days I want thick dressing, and some days I want thin dressing. Oh, so gingery, so good. All right, I'm gonna add this to my salad, trying to not spill over. There's a lot of ginger in this. Wow, it's good. Definitely gotta try this one. Seriously. But I'm gonna go enjoy this and see you soon. So it's about an hour before dinner, and I'm going to put my chili ingredients on some dehydrator trays and put them back in the dehydrator just for about an hour to warm them up even more. They'll be a little bit more chunky and more flavorful. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. In the dehydrator for about an hour to get them nice and warm, and then we will prepare the chili and get it ready for dinner. Makes a mess, but whatever. I'm ready to make the sauce now. So I'm going to start with red pepper, 2 cloves of garlic, a bunch of fresh cherry tomatoes, about half a cup of sun-dried tomatoes to make the sauce thicker, and of course chili powder. Going to also add some basil leaves, hot peppers, need some dates. I'm gonna put 5 in there. So right before I blend the sauce, I'm actually going to put my warm dehydrated ingredients back in this bowl. So these ingredients are ready to go. I'm going to use my Vitamix. I'm going to blend for about 5 minutes. 3 to 5 minutes typically is a good amount of time, and the blades will create a friction which creates heat. So it's nice and warm, it's not too hot, but it'll get a little steamy and it cools off quite quickly. So we're gonna get on that. Make sure you have a fair amount of water ready to go, because you're going to need to add some depending on how thick you want it. Can you see the steam? I'm just going to add this now to my chili and stir it up. Beautiful, thick, chunky chili. Look at that. Now, because I don't want to eat out of this giant bowl, I'm going to come back for seconds as I go. I'm just going to use this little one. All right, so I'm just going to measure out some chili, top it with some sour cream, and green onions. And that's dinner. Hope you guys like this video. I'm going to have the chronometer at the end of the video that you can check out to see how much I ate in nutrition for this whole day. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe to my channel to get notifications for more. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Raw Food Romance and on Snapchat, Lissa Raw Vegan. So until the next video, guys, fruit on. Here's the chronometer just for reference. I'm over 2,400 calories and 9.5% fat with 98% of my nutrition targets met. Super easy to do on a raw vegan diet. Here you can see I hit my calorie goals for the day and surpassed most of my nutrition.